Okay, back with a couple of tables of 5NL Zoom. Had some mixed sessions this week. Had a good session on Thursday. Had a pretty hopeless session on Friday. I've had a good session earlier today. Let's see how we get on this evening. No action with our kings. Queen 7 off, even for that price. It's so trashy, so we're just going to fold it. And I'll just move on. And I think we're going to bet now with our 3. Almost certainly the best hand, given they both check the flop. We'll just put a small C bet on this board. Doesn't surprise me that we get called. I think he's going to have quite a lot of pocket pairs. He's going to have some ace-x as well, but now that we pick up a flush draw, I think it's okay to bet again. And do we want to try and bet, get into fold hands like 7s and 8s? Diamonds get there. I think we're just going to give up. Yeah, probably just has an ace, or if he does have diamonds, he's got there. So that didn't work out. Five's weakest pair I will raise under the gun. And, okay. Let's go for a C bet here. Again, we get called. Doesn't have many big aces. We'll go for an overbet. We'll go for this play. He doesn't really have too many big aces. So if he's got like Queen Jack or King Jack, those kind of hands, they really should be folding. And we immediately get called. So we're going to give up again. There's a very small chance if he's got a hand like King Queen that he just didn't want to fold. He just goes all in. I guess that means he has diamonds. Don't think he would do this if he just had an ace. So we've got very little choice here, but just to fold. So far, bluff's not working out. Immediately get 3-bet with King Jack off. King Jack off is a little bit loose from early, and even though it's a very small 3-bet, out of position against someone who doesn't have much of a stack, I'm just going to let it go. The session's off to a poor start, but we're only 20-something hands in. The other night when I had a great session, it was really just because I was just hitting cards left, right, and centre. It was nothing to do with my great plays, you can probably tell. And we go for a small c-bet on a lot of boards because people just seem to overfold. But with King Jack here, now he's going to check back and just see if we can improve on the river. We could still have the best hand. Small chance if he has a hand like Jack 10 or 10-8, something like that. 7-10, okay. And we'll call here with the sixes. He'll almost certainly call the guy that limped under the gun. And he goes, of course, he goes for the limp re-raise, of course. We'll get to see what they've got, and we'll just check back with our king, ace king, and ace king. Now, if we'd known that, our sixes we would have called. And we're going to call here with king 9. Yes, he can have an ace, but we check back the flop. We can't be checking back the flop and folding. But if he fires again, then we'll see what he does. He overbets. I just don't think people just don't seem to be doing this unless they have an ace. So I guess we just have to fold because recently just calling on rivers has just not proven to be a particularly good strategy. People just are very heavily weighted towards value when they bet big. So frustrating, but I just don't see people having enough bluffs to make that a call. So it feels like lately, like sessions have either gone really well or they've gone really badly, and not much else in between. So here on the left, doesn't have to have an ace, does he? He could be calling with like lots of hands, like just 5x. So I think we can just bet again. We surely have a lot more strong ace x than he does. And we could have the best hand. We get lucky on the river, probably. I guess we just bet quite large on the basis that he's going to call us with ace x most of the time. So when we have nothing, they call. The minute we hit trips, they fold. We'll have a stab here with ace jack, and we get it through. So the 6-4 hand, when he folds the river, it probably means that I was good the whole time. Ace 10 of clubs. I'll go for a slightly loose 3-bet. This might be too loose against an under the gun raiser. We get called. We get a nice flop. And we'll see bet for half pot. Get called. Not a very good turn card. I think we're going to slow down now. We can be winning, but he can also have hands like jacks or queens. He can also obviously have a flush or a straight. So we're just going to check, and I'm really looking for a check. And I don't see that I can value bet this. Would be a bit thin, so we'll just hope to be good. Queen 10 off is surprising to me that he's raising that under the gun in the first place, and then calling a 3-bet with it. So we could make a note of that. Maybe that river, is it a value bet? It's getting awfully thin. Pocket 8s, pocket 9s might call us. We certainly don't want to bet and get check raised. That would really stink. I think checking behind is probably okay. And 6-7 here, I probably should not have opened, given the guy in the small blind has such a small stack. And we'll just take one stab at it and be done if he gives us any resistance. Okay, so getting a few hands now. Getting 3-bet, we're out of position with ace queen off, ace jack of hearts, and the guy just shoves all in. I guess we just have to fold. Obviously, with no knowledge of players, you can't really call a hand like ace jack. This guy could be just doing it with anything. Could have like king 4 offsuit or some junk, but without some knowledge of the guy, I can't really call the 3-bet the ace jack. Get called, we get a very nice flop. And we'll just start with a small bet. And I think we just go bet. I don't see any real reason to do anything else. Well, we get three. We get three bet. We've got 7-5 spades. Just gonna throw it away. Sevens here, a bit frustrating, but I think we just have a fold. Jack nine of spades is perhaps a slightly loose open. Sevens against somebody who doesn't have a very large stack will fold. And with no pair, no draw, with two players in the pot, we're just going to give this up. And I don't think really I want to bluff at this. Again, with two players, just neither of them having an ace, just seems a bit unlikely. So we'll just give up. Okay, clubs, just a fold against none of the gun raise. So not too many interesting situations presenting themselves. Seems to be often the case in these pools that it's very nitty. I'm pretty nitty myself, but it's almost like nittiness begets nittiness. If people's three betting ranges are very tight, then you want to open quite a bit to pick up the blinds. But when you do get three bet, you are going to want to be folding quite a lot. Come on, give me some interesting hands. Pocket sevens, we've had those quite a few times. I think this is about the first time we've really got to play them. And definite ball just to see bet the third range. Raise the a7 of clubs, immediately get three bet from the guy in second position. So I'm afraid this is going to have to be another fold. King queen off, we certainly could three bet a cut off open. Doing that a bit lately. It's not with decidedly mixed results. It's something I might just tighten up a little bit from the small blind. We immediately get three bet. We've got Jack ten spades. If I had a proper full stack like I should be playing, I'd probably call here. But because I don't, I won't. Immediately get three bet again. We've got ace jack. Probably have a little bit too much to shove. I certainly don't want to fold, so I'm just going to call. And clearly we'll be going with this now. If he has a better hand than this, it's kind of so be it. We'll just put a smallish raise in, give him a chance to come over the top if he has a bluff, but we're going to be going with this hand. I don't really want to call there and just let hearts or kings or queens come off on the turn, and just I'd rather raise and just make it a small raise. Just like I say, give him a chance if he wants to bluff, come over the top. King eight of diamonds. Probably again, that's one of the loosest hands that we're going to raise, and we immediately get punished, as we should, because it's too loose. Get called for the guy in the big blind, doesn't have a huge stack. He leads with two big blinds. We've got no pair, no draw, and sadly, I think it's just easy. It's just to fold that hand. And we'll check back our ace high, just try and get this to showdown. Check that back again, and then we'll be value betting river if he checks. Then we can value bet very small. He's shown absolutely no interest, so I think it's fairly clear at this point that he doesn't have a hand. But he calls. Let's have a look at what he called with. He had King Jack of spades. Raise with the fives, race with the ace three suited. And two callers, both the blinds called, and we get a awful flop. Ace three of hearts. We'll just be giving up. I guess there is the merest, smallest of chances that we have the best hand, but probably not now. So nearly 20 minutes in, and this is not the most exhilarating of videos. I'm sorry if anyone's still watching. Uh, we'll call here just for a min raise. We flop like the world's worst double belly buster. I think for a small bet against a guy on that stack, we'll call, but this is probably a little bit dodgy. Nines, don't love it. I just think it's too strong to fold. That's a shit flop. And I think the ball we can just check fold. These hands can be very tricky to play. You're going to miss most of the time. The board's going to have something like this on it, and it's difficult to do anything really. It's going to have one or two overcards on it. Very tough to play the sort of middling pairs. We get a very small raise here. I assume both these players are probably going to call with a hand like 7-8 off. We're getting what, 5-1? I think I probably have to call. King Queen off. I think we're going to call here against the guy on the stack. If he flop pair, we'll go with it. And we don't. We'll just take a free one. We're not going to try and bluff him off ace high if that's what he's got. I'll get another gun razor or 3-bet with the queens. Get a very quick call. We get a very disappointing flop. I think we will go for a quarter bet, quarter pot bet. Probably just okay to do that with range. With 3-bet sometimes here, but I don't want to with the guy in the big blind having such a small stack and potentially going all in. We'll 3-bet the nines to 9. That's a fine result. Out of position. Happy just to take it down pre-flop. I'm hoping that by the time we get to 300 hands, there will be at least one really interesting hand. Or at least one big pot. I mean, even if it's not interesting, just something big. Okay, well, we flop a set here. This is a board that we would generally dislike as an early position raiser, but I'm not sure all the players in this pool necessarily know that. Just go ahead and bet when we've got a strong hand. And yeah, we're just going to be betting big. If our opponent has got ace high hearts on a double flush draw board, we're gonna go ahead and bet big. Just hope our opponent has a set fives. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? We do get raised, and now we're just going to put it in. If our opponent has set nines, which really would not surprise me, there's just nothing much we can do about it, and we're going to have to lose a stack. And he's got 8-10 of clubs. Do we gamble? Or do we cash out? We're wimps. We're wimps. We're wimps. We're going to cash out. And thankfully we did, because we would have lost. Interesting to hear what people think of the cash out option. I quite like it just because it reduces variance. I know some people hate it because I think basically it's bound to be in the site's favor, which of course it is. But in that spot there, what was my equity? 70%, and they're offering me, I'd have to look at what percentage of the pot, but it doesn't seem like they're offering a lot less than 70%. So I'm inclined a lot of the time with cash out to just take it. And maybe it's almost experience of being drawn out on a lot and just finding it really frustrating. And so when you get an opportunity to just take whatever percentage of the pot that was, I just think, why not? Plus, if you're someone that might sometimes tilt when you do get drawn out on, I think cash out may not be a bad idea. So it'd be interesting to hear what anybody thinks of cash out. If anybody would like to make a comment on the video. And we'll go for a call here. Hope the guy behind us raises. He doesn't. We're now going to go for a raise ourselves. This guy, of course, yeah, in theory he can have king 10, but if he does, we're just going to lose a stack. It's a pretty delightful run out. So I guess we just go large here. I don't think we necessarily need to go all in. We can just go to the size of the pot. I think that's going to be fine. I don't really know what he's doing, betting 3 big blinds into 34. Hmm. So a couple of big pots, a little bit more interesting. Did we get too greedy there? Did we get too greedy? I think when he bets small, maybe he's weighted his hands like king queen or one pair hands like queen 10, perhaps that can't call a large bet. Not sure. As with most things, I'm not sure. As you can tell, I don't really know what I'm doing. Trying to improve, whether I'm succeeding or not. I've done okay lately, buy-ins wise, so maybe I'm getting a little better. King Queen will be a defend against an under the gun raise, but less than 3x, certainly going to defend it. Uh, Small bet, we've got no pair, no draw. Just throw it away. King Jack of Diamonds, closing the action. Don't wish to squeeze, wish just to take a flop. With 2 people in the pot, uh, I guess we could bet there. The guy who's raised here is unlikely to love this ball. We're just going to bet small here with our flush. Immediately get a fold. Not ideal. But we have hit a few hands now. Flop the straight, flop the flush, flop the set, and we've made some chips from it. So after a very poor start to the session, it's taken a slight upturn. And that guy took forever to do anything. I think when he does, like he's not going to have a strong hand very often. So I think now we are just going to bet. We're going to bet quite reasonable size. I never love bluffing into 2 people, but might as would he really check a strong hand on that board? He might check an overpair for balance, but I don't think many players at these limits do. I think if he had aces or kings or queens or jacks, he would just go ahead and bet. The guy to my right thus far has shown no interest, so hopefully he continues to, and we do get it through. So I'll play 300 hands and then call it a session. On 233 at the moment. And we'll ISO on the button. Not a great hand to be doing it with, but we will have position post flop. And we'll go ahead and bet. I think half pot. I think half pot is okay on this board. It's very heavily favourable for the raiser. You don't have to fight over every pot. Sometimes I don't mind just checking, giving up. I don't like to c bet every flop, and maybe this isn't a bad one just to pick when I've got no pair and no club. If there was a club on the board, I probably would bet, possibly check raise maybe, but without one, I won't. The guy's got that little red thing. That's Micro Millions winner. Getting a free flop with our Queen Nine of Hearts. And King Jack of Hearts, we do get called. We'll just give up the Queen Nine here. chooses to lead into us. I think I'm just going to be calling most of the time here. I don't want to have too many raises. And we're going to call on the butt with 9-7 of spades. Obviously not the card we were really hoping for, with the diamond on the left. And so it's just going to be a call. Kind of a weird river. We're going to bet here with our over cards, gut shot and flush draw, and this is just going to be an easy just call. And we get very fortunate on the river, so we didn't think we liked it. Actually, we did. Now, here, I think we don't really want to bet and get check raised in case he has 6. Plenty of hands that he could have. He could have like ace 4. He could just have like random ace highs. I think he's going to have that a lot, but we're just going to go ahead and check. And probably a little bit too weak to value bet. I think we're going to have the best hand most of the time, though, but I don't see too many worse hands calling. No, he's got ace 7. Okay. So we did save ourselves a few chips there. 5-9 of diamonds closing the action to getting 4.5 to 1. Go ahead and call. And, a bit of a loosey-goosey raise on the right with the 9 deuce. Here I'm going to bet when no one shows any interest in the flop. Pair of 9s is almost certainly going to be good. I'm just going to give up with my deuce here. Here I don't see any real reason to bet. I think we have the best hand, but we're never going to get called by worse. With an ace. And our deuce is good. How about that? How about that? So what did he have there? That was not exactly the best played hand of all time. So we had a deuce. He had ace 6. So that hand there probably wasn't exactly Clash of the Titans. Raise 10-8. And this is a board I think certainly we can bet big. I think we're going to have, as the pre-flop raiser, quite a lot of that. Him just calling, not so much. Get it through. Queen Jack of Spades, I think it's okay just to call. I don't particularly want to 3-bet under the gun raiser. And we can just check fold. We'll go for a 3-bet in position with Jack 9 of hearts. This was the kind of stuff that I said I would probably start doing less of, because whenever I do it, I seem to end up getting myself in trouble. But there you go. That's kind of the reason to do it, is because people are so tight that if people are very tight, increasing the 3-betting range makes perfect sense. And did it last time with Jack 9 of hearts. Why don't we just do it again? And here, ace high, backdoor draws, okay hand, I think, just to check behind. So check, I thought we were checking behind, but we're not. And we get a very nice flop here with Jack 9. And I guess we're just going to head and bet big. Immediately get a fold. Perhaps I got a little bit carried away there. I don't know if I needed to go quite that large. I mean, he folded so quickly, perhaps it didn't really matter. It's tough to see, like when you play these stakes, there being too many exciting sessions without there being a few more whales. Like the standard play, including myself here, is not that high. Pretty clearly at 5NL it's not going to be, but it's mostly not that high on the tight side. People just being very reluctant to put significant chips out there unless they have a hand. So the sessions can often be fairly dull. Playing the other night, there were some genuine sort of almost whales that you would have. We're going to spot here. We're going to three bet out of position. We're just going to 3x his player, and we're going to be going with it if he wants to shovel in. There were some actual whales, people calling, 3 streets with bottom pair. This is the type of stuff that you would have seen, 15 years ago. 15 years ago, I think actually I played about 25 NL regular tables. So one of the few people that plays lower stakes years later. But I haven't played cash games in any serious way for quite a long time. So I'm just getting used to them again. And the standard of play these days is so much higher than it was at that time. You just don't get anywhere near as many people just giving their money away in a way that they were at that point. So we're closing in on the end of the session. We'll play about 10 more hands or so. It'd be nice if there was just one more interesting hand. Okay. All right, so 300 hands are up. I'm just going to sit out. Just going to play this Jack 10 of spades. We'll be taking a flop in position. Can it be a good one? It is not. And we're just going to check behind. Do we go for a small stab here? Try and get them to fold hands like Queen High? We do. Immediately regret it. We go another stab. There's lots of hands that this person could have, but the speed with which the turn was called, I think I'm just going to accept defeat. And I should have bet, and I'm a donkey. Okay, so how did the session finish? Up about half a buy-in, which is okay, given that I don't think I played really all that well. Lots and lots of errors in there. There were some decent hands, pocket sevens, and then a flop straight and a flopped flush. I can't even remember the hands that I won some chips on, but I definitely started to hit a few hands, and that's what helped me out. Anyway, video's now about 38 minutes long, so it's quite long. Thank you very much for watching, and please leave a comment if you like it, or put a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.